Cybersecurity threats are increasingly concerning for businesses relying on Linux operating system due to their popularity and open source nature. In this scenario, a government-linked company, GLC, suffered a data breach after an employee opened a malicious email attachment. While Linux systems are renowned for their robust security features, they are not immune to vulnerabilities. Like any other system, they require regular monitoring, timely updates, and a comprehensive multi-layered security strategy to counter emerging threats. The versatility and extensive features of Linux can sometimes lead to unintentional security gaps, especially due to mistakes or lack of experience. Attackers use several standard methods in their attempts to breach security, in which one of them is privilege escalation. Non-system users such as people from all over the internet will visit a website without logging in, or anonymous users of services like the transfer of files. The privilege of sending an email to a recipient user on a distant system can be regarded as belonging to the sender as well. Attackers are granted more rights than they should be due to privilege escalation. To scan for threats, the company should initiate investigation and containment. Phishing emails are still one of the most common and effective techniques for hackers to gain unauthorized access to networks. These emails usually include links or files that are harmful and designed to fool recipients into downloading malware or divulging personal information. To encounter this issue when it happens, the company should take immediate isolation to isolate any potentially compromised system. The affected employee's machine and any suspicious activity in system must be isolated. Also, an incident response teams like IT personnel, security experts, and legal advisors must take part in investigation and handle communication. Second is malware and endpoint scanning. Malware and endpoint scannings are important steps to identify any malicious activities, especially when the system gets breached. The company should use reliable and latest antivirus and anti-malware tools such as ClaimAV, Crushkit, or RK-Hunters to scan any threats in the system. These tools use signature-based and heuristic analysis to detect malicious files, ransomware, and trojans. The company also must conduct comprehensive scan of where the malicious email attachment was downloaded, especially IT employees' workstation. Also, all endpoints like laptops, desktop, mobile devices, and connected peripherals so that the company can rule out additional infection. Moreover, real-time scanning should be enabled to monitor ongoing activities and detect any threats. This ensures proactive detection of malware during execution, rather than waiting for manual scans. Cybersecurity vulnerabilities are frequently overlooked until criminals take advantage of them. Email systems are common targets for attackers, as they serve as entry points for phishing and malware distribution. The first guide to discover hidden vulnerabilities in the system is malware detection in the email system. The GLC must use tools like MOVs integrated with the email server like Postfix or Xim to scan for malware. For example, ClamScan-R varmail. This command is used to check for malicious email attachment within the stored email files after the discovery of the compromised email. The GLC should focus on recent email attachment to detect any embedded malicious code. Second is vulnerability scanning on Linux servers. An attacker with initial access could escalate privileges and breach sensitive client databases if permissions are not properly maintained. The malicious attachment might have installed malware that exploit inappropriate user or group permissions to escalate privileges. To overcome this issue, the company must use Linux to audit user accounts and permissions for misconfiguration. For example, Linux audit system. This command is to check for insecure configuration like with SMTP, authentication, or insecure TLS settings that could allow interception of sensitive emails. The last one is hardening the Linux-based email system. The company must implement email authentication standards like SPF, DKIM, and DMERC to prevent spoof emails from reaching employees. SPF used to specify authorized mail server for the domain. DKIM signs outgoing emails to verify their authenticity, and DMERC enforces authentication policies and provides reporting. Moreover, the company must ensure email servers are configured to enforce encryption for both incoming and outgoing messages like TLS or SSL. The company also should prevent relay abuse by verifying the mail server is not configured as an open relay, which could allow attackers to exploit it for sending malicious email.
The first prevention suggestion is network security enhancement. Cisco ESA is one of the widely used tools. This program is a multi-purpose high-performance security appliance that provides VPN, IPS, and next-generation firewall service. These features are provided by Cisco ESA through enhanced network scalability, resilience, and integration. The next one is employee training and awareness. Do you know that one of the biggest reasons for security breaches in the field of cybersecurity is still human error? As the organization's first line of defense, employees are essential to preserving its security posture. Staff members who get training on typical dangers such as phishing attempts are better able to recognize possible hazards and take appropriate action. In addition to improving individual adaptiveness, proactive training and awareness initiatives fortify the organization's overall resistance against the cyber attack. Lastly, system monitoring and logging. Nagios is a robust and popular monitoring tool that helps businesses monitor their IT infrastructure, make sure everything is functioning properly, and spot problems before they get out of hand. Nagios monitors important performance indicators including disk space, CPU, and memory consumption, also server uptime. This guarantees that systems are functioning effectively. Nagios keeps an eye on network activities including latency, packet loss, and bandwidth use. It also identifies problems with routers, switches, and other network devices.
5 permissions. Permissions to specific of users. Effective ownerships and access control approach is used to manage Linux file permissions. There are 3 categories. Number 1 is owner permissions. This is only accessible to the owner of the file. Number 2 is group permissions. This is shared all users in the specific groups of the file. And number 3, other permissions. All other users must have access to these rights. These permissions can be adjustable and can be given by administrators with commands like chmod, chown, and chgrp. For example, this code I type in chmod 640 meng.txt. Then I press enter and then I type ls-l meng.txt. And then next, I type in sudo chown vbox. And then next, I type in sudo chown vbox user meng.txt. And then I press enter. The code that I type in is to give the owner read and write access, and I give the group a read-only access and nobody else can access. Next is to change multiple permissions. Permission management can be expedited by administrators using number 1, using symbolic modes such as G-W and U+R. Next is using repetitive edits to directories. For example, the code I type in is chmod +r meng.txt. This can guarantee that all files and subdirectories have the same permissions.
By 4.0 packet filtering. By regulating the flow of incoming and outgoing packets in a network, packet filtering is an essential technique for system security. Iptables and its replacement, NFtables, are widely used packet filtering utilities in Linux-based systems. The NetFiller framework, which is incorporated into the Linux kernel, is where these utilities function. In a lot of Linux-based systems, NetFiller framework is utilized for packet filtering, load balancing, and other manipulation with IP packets. The most famous NetFilters utility Iptables was introduced back in 1998. It became a standard for firewalling tools. Increasing network speeds and transfer data rate has led Linux community to think about alternative options of Iptable replacer. In recent years, a lot of attention is focused on using eBPF functionality to make Iptables alternative based on it. 4.1 Configuring packet filtering tools. Overview of configuration. By examining packet headers and implementing rules based on IP addresses, port, and protocols, packet filtering technologies regulate network traffic. Administrator can create rules to allow or prohibit particular traffic using common tools like firewalls and Iptables. By thwarting unwanted access and reducing possible risks, this solution improves network security. 4.1 Configuring packets filtering tools. Step 1. Enable the UFW. To begin controlling incoming and outgoing traffic, turn on UFW, which is sudo UFW enable, and the output will become firewall is active and enable on system startup. Step 2. Check the current status. View the current rules and status, which is sudo UFW status verbose, and it will come out as status, logging, and default. Step 3. Default policy. Configure default policy to allow or deny traffic. First, deny all incoming traffic. By default, sudo UFW default deny incoming. Second, allow UFW default allow outgoing. Sudo UFW default allow outgoing. 4.2 Create rules to filter packets. You can define specific rules to allow blocked packet based on criteria like source IP, destination IP, protocol, or port. A. Allow specific ports. First, to allow incoming traffic on specific ports. Example, HTTP and HTTPS. First, sudo UFW allow AT/TCP. Second, sudo UFW allow 443/TCP. B. Allow specific services. 1. To allow services by name. Example, SSH. Sudo UFW allow SSH. C. Deny specific traffic. To block traffic from a specific IP, sudo UFW deny from any kind of specific IP address that you want to put. 192.168.1.100. That is one of the example of IP address. Second, to deny traffic on specific port. Sudo UFW deny 8080. D. Allow traffic from specific IP or network. First, to allow traffic from a trusted IP. Sudo UFW allow from any kind of IP address. For example, 192.168.1.100. Second, to deny traffic from a network range. Sudo UFW allow from 192.168.1.0/24. 4.3 Matching packets from external systems. A. Rules for external access. First, to allow external system to access your web server. Sudo UFW allow in on ito to any port 80. B. Limit connection to protect against brute force attacks by rate limiting connections. Sudo UFW limit SSH. C. Log and monitor traffic. First, enable logging for traffic to monitor and match packets. Sudo UFW logging on. Second, check logs. Sudo tail -f/var/log/UFW.log.
Hello everyone, Right now, we are going to talk about how to set the source address of the packets. The source address of the network packet is the key to managing network traffic. UFW helps to secure the network by monitoring and controlling where the traffic comes from and goes. It also allows users to set rules that protect private networks, block unauthorized access, and ensure proper traffic flow. UFW also can redirect traffic, balance load, and support testing environments. Additionally, it also can be used to set up high-need ports for tracking malicious activities, making it a powerful tool for maintaining network security. Here are the steps to set the source address of the packets. First, we have to understand the problem. Through this, we can prioritize and analyze the traffic, identify the source of attack, and secure the server.
Secondly, set up UFW. To block a specific or malicious IP address, we should enter the code called sudo UFW allow from the specific IP address of our device. Then, the password of our VirtualBox will be asked. Once the password has been entered correctly, that would be next comma will be showed as there is no error. Next, to allow a specific or trusted IP address to a particular port, we should enter the code called sudo UFW allow from the IP address of our device to any port and the port number, Pro to TCP. And then once we entered, the coding showed rule added showing as the coding is successful.
Now, let's talk about how to set target. In UFW, target is set by using keywords like allow, deny, or reject to decide how the traffic is handled based on the condition like IP address, ports, protocols. UFW enhances the security by blocking unwanted traffics, allowing trusted connection, and rejecting malicious requests. Properly setting UFW rules helps to protect sensitive data, reduce risk, and ensure smooth legitimate traffic flow. Its simplicity makes UFW a powerful tool for managing network security.
Here are the examples to set up this target. To block a malicious IPS address defaultly, we can enter the code called sudo UFW default deny incoming. And then once we enter, the program will be succeed. Then, in order to block a specific IP address, we can enter the code called sudo UFW deny from the specific IP address of our device.
It is clear from a situation that a proactive, multi-layered security approach is necessary to protect Linux computers. To successfully reduce threats, organizations need to put strong safeguards in place such as network improvements, email security software, system monitoring, and personnel training. Notwithstanding its reputation for security, Linux is susceptible to flaws brought on by incorrect setups or human mistakes. Essential protections against changing cyber threats are provided by tools like Nagios, ClaimAV, and Bastille Linux in conjunction with procedures like frequent audits, secure file permissions, and packet filtering.